Good evening. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. Every day is a gift. Today's date is Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. And I wanted to take a moment to raise your awareness about something that it may be redundant, you may be quite familiar with it. And it's a term called controlled opposition. Now, according to Urban Dictionary, controlled opposition is a protest movement that is actually being led by government agents. Nearly all governments in history have employed this technique to trick and subdue their adversaries. Okay. And I like this part of it better. It says controlled opposition, a strategy in which an individual, organization, or movement is covertly controlled or influenced by a third party, and the controlled entity's true purpose is something other than its publicly stated purpose. I wanted to bring that to your attention because controlled opposition is something that we who are truth seekers have to be aware is in play. That there are people who have been put in positions where they earn our trust and become valued resources. And actually, at some point in time, that subtly or sometimes not so subtly changes, and they are no longer working for the light. Now, there is evidence. Just a second, I'll show you a YouTube channel that did a good video about that. Okay, Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson and Sasha Stone is the title of this one. A video done by 7 Grains of Salt 3 YouTube channel. And it was done on April 20th, so it's a little bit older. And I'm 2 minutes and 19 seconds into it. And here are the faces of some people that in the course of investigating, there is evidence that they are controlled opposition. Some of these faces are faces we know and trust. The list is by no means conclusive. I mean, not at all. But I thought this would be a good topic to consult the universe on. What does the universe advise for truth seekers as far as what awareness should they have about controlled opposition and how should they handle controlled opposition? Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. Our first card is the Queen of Cups. King of Swords. Knight of Wands. Two of Swords. The Magician. Three of Cups. King of Cups. Okay, the situation, our question, we are indicated by the Queen of Cups. She is about emotional intelligence. And the universe is saying that that's what we need to use. And it's a good thing we've asked this question. Okay, the situation is going to be further clarified by the King of Swords. Now, he is about wisdom and often indicates someone that's very wise, that has good judgment and deals with honor. And so, and what we're being told here, I'm sorry, I've got to listen to my intuition as I work with the cards, is that it's good that we're asking this, because knowing what controlled opposition is, and that it's quite possible that some of our most trusted faces and voices are exactly that. it's good that we need to know. Now, do we throw out the baby with the bathwater? Once we discern someone may be controlled opposition, do we stop consulting them? In the recent past, we have the Knight of Wands showing up. Now, the Knight of Wands is about energy. He's fast moving. We've got a lot of activity happening in our world right now. There are people who are not what they seem. However, we have to be mindful that it's our choice whether we trust someone, to what extent we trust them, and when that trust is going to be withheld. That's the process of using your discernment. Because even if someone is controlled opposition, it doesn't mean that up until they hit that point where they're activated or forced to go into a different mode of conduct or a different type of information stream, that they're not useful to us as we seek truth. We have the choice. You'll always have the choice to trust someone. And so we're asking the universe for advice about when do we know what to do here. Now, the magician, usually for me, he's about balance as well as manifestation, okay? And those two things work together here. Now, he can be a little tricky because he can work with all the elements, okay? And we are dealing with evil that has had centuries, millennia, to hone their skills. Okay, we got a steep learning curve as we deal with them. So again, you've got choices, use some balance in what you believe and give credence to. And then the advice and information coming from that then is, if you do that, there's going to be cause for celebration, okay? Because the Three of Cups, as long as you don't overdo it, is a celebration card. King of Cups can be tricky. We're being told over and over again in this read that the evil is tricky. Evil energy is tricky, okay? So if someone you're listening to, I get people all the time that ask me to read on person X or person Y or person Z. And I want to explain why I haven't so far is, first of all, evil is trying to get the truth-seeking movement to splinter and be divided. And I don't want to be part of that. Okay? I would rather help you learn how to use your skills of discretion to know when to listen to someone and when to stop listening to someone, rather than give you advice via the cards and then my intuition, which is fallible, about who is good, who is not good. Okay? We need to keep in mind too, that if you're familiar with what MK Ultra is, those are people that have had some programming done that they may not even be aware of. I mean, I could have programming done that I'm not aware of. So my advice to you would be, anytime you're listening to a voice you trust, even if it's one you love, if they suddenly switch tacks and seem to go in an opposite direction and they try to explain it as, oh, I'm discouraged and I'm tired of waiting, or whatever it is, okay? At the point that you stop feeling informed and optimistic about that information, well, this was a hard truth, but I'm glad I've got it, you know, that kind of thing. I would say that's the point where you go, ooh, this may be a controlled opposition move. They may now have crossed that line, whether they realize it or not. Okay, and so that's why your discernment is absolutely critical as we go through these complicated times and try to learn who to listen to. Even if it's me, if my narrative starts to change drastically, guys, don't listen to me anymore, okay? Because my focus here is to seek truth with you. In the process, do it as positively as possible, or show you ways you can kind of empower yourself through manifestation and intention to make a difference and make a positive change. And I never want anybody to come away from one of my videos going, or click on it to start and go, I wonder if she's going to be a Debbie Downer today. So if I start having those Debbie Downer moments or something, please turn me off, okay? Even with the voices you know and love. Because as we get into that, there are some that are going to be held in reserve till the final plays. because evil is not going to head out the door without kicking and screaming and causing problems. And let's not have it be within the truther movement. And remember, knowing what controlled opposition is, you can still use it to your advantage because you won't be as gullible. You'll know when to go, they've started that controlled opposition seems to be in play here. Okay, let's look at a few more cards and see if we get some further insights. Yeah, the Hangman's about looking at things in a new perspective. So maybe this idea of watching and using your discernment more with people you trust and look to for information is good. And we've got the 10 of Wands here. We're in the end game times, guys. End times, period. Okay, so use your discretion. Look at things in a new way. Page of Wands. He's got my little white hat. So I like to think that he's kind of alludes a little bit to the alliance and white hats. Okay, those of us that are seeking truth, hold the line and hold the faith, because at the end of it all, we have justice. Our world is coming back into alignment. Justice is quietly happening, and at some point it's going to be a little less quiet and a little more public. Okay, all right, so now you've had controlled opposition 101. You know what it is. You know that even if someone may be capable of that, until the point of time that they stop giving information and you feel enlightened and lightened by it, don't discount them. Okay, all right, and remember, have some compassion, because some people that are controlled opposition aren't even aware that that's what they are, or they've been compromised. And who among us, if we had a child or grandchild that had been threatened, who wouldn't be tempted to go, it's not worth my baby's life. It's not worth my little one's life. Okay, so have that compassion, but use your discernment at all times with everyone, myself included. That's it for this video. Thank you so much. Your time is precious. My time is precious, as you keep reminding me. We all have a finite amount of it here on this planet. So when you choose to spend a little of it with me, I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. Good night.